Hey, let's talk about my favorite Proseccos. So that we're going to call this the best Proseccos under $25, even though a lot of the wines on this list are under $15. So let's get going. Hey, welcome back to Drinking It In. I am your host, Chris Casara. We are here to help you know more and drink better. And today we're talking about the best and one clunker, Proseccos under $25. You know, why Prosecco? We talked about it recently on a Prosecco video. It's fun, it's fruity, it's bubbly. The quality overall is pretty good. I think it's great on its own. You don't have to be celebrating something or eating something specific. And it's also great in cocktails. You can top a lot of cocktails off, make it sort of a royale just because it's got some bubbly in it. Prosecco can only be made in northern Italy, in the Veneto. The big brands in Prosecco, unlike some of the other categories, are generally pretty good, or at least ones that I enjoy. I mean, most are under 15, right? And, I'm going to start with well-distributed big brands, and we'll talk about some other faves of mine. So, no particular order, but Prima Perla, nice, pretty bottle. I've had this a couple of times, is actually probably almost around the $10 mark, but a really good everyday Prosecco. You're probably familiar with La Marca, that light blue label. You can get the regular Brut or a La Marca Rosé. Had both a fair amount. Definitely prefer the Brut to the Rosé. Next big brand, Ruffino. Again, they make the Ruffino Prosecco. You'll probably see it a lot in restaurants as well. I've had a lot of success with it. Just enjoy it. Again, you can get Brut and Rosé. From a Ruffino perspective, I prefer the Rosé. The last big brand, and this is going to be a tough one for me to talk about in some ways, is Santa Margherita. Now, I continue, like whenever we talk about Pinot Gris, Pinot Grigio, or anything that's sort of a medium weight wine, white wine, I always say, just stop drinking. I want you to stop drinking your Santa Margherita Pinot Grigio and choose this. We did have the Santa Margherita Prosecco out at a restaurant one day. It could be that, it was the setting. We were sitting in Federal Hill in Providence next to a fountain. We had just closed on our house, so it was a celebration. But I was actually really surprised by how much I enjoyed the Prosecco, and it was a little more full bodied than a lot of the bigger brand Proseccos that you get. So worth a shot. My absolute favorite Prosecco is this Safralan Cuvée Beatrice. Safralan does a rosé as well, but the Cuvée Beatrice Brut remains my favorite. I don't know, call it everyday Prosecco, because I think for the price you pay, which is usually in the $13 to $15 range, this wine just over delivers all the time. And I would put it up against, not necessarily champagne, but I would put it up against most sparkling wines that could be costing you up to $30. I think it delivers. Step up a little bit, right? There's a couple of brands that you probably will run into. Nina Franco is a Prosecco brand that I've had really good success with. I've really had it more in some tastings than actually ever really purchased it. I think I've also had it out at a restaurant once or twice. Really, really nice. Again, the next few are going to be a little fuller bodied Prosecco. So not that they're any less fun, but they will be they'll have a little more going on than just sort of that fun and friendly Prosecco that you're used to. Marzaret Prosecco, they do a Treviso is the one that I'm particularly familiar with from a basic Prosecco standpoint. They also do wines for the Valdobbiadene and Cartizze region, which their Cartizze is just absurdly good. But again, that's going to be $80 or something like that. But Marzaret, Prosecco, Treviso, definitely a winner. And last but not least is the Bisol Geo Valdobbiadene, which I actually have over here. Hold, please. This one happened to be a gift we just got recently. This guy is, again, you can get this for under 25 bucks. And Valdobbiadene, I go back and forth. I probably should look up the pronunciation and be consistent. It's a smaller region within Prosecco, and I think the best way to think of it is just that it is a much higher quality version of Prosecco. So anytime you see Valdobbiadene, it's going to cost more, right? You're not going to see any of those for like 15 bucks. They're going to be closer to the $25 price point. But again, generally fuller, a little more serious wines. What is the worst Prosecco that you could buy? In my opinion, again, my opinion, the worst wine I've ever put in my mouth is the Josh Prosecco Rosé. I would not encourage you to buy that one. Those are my favorite Proseccos. I don't know if you guys have any Proseccos that you like that weren't on this list. Drop it in the comments, because I'm always looking to explore the category more. A lot of times in wine, I'm always stepping outside of a comfort zone and trying something that I maybe haven't had recently, because I don't tend to drink the same thing over and over again, as you can probably tell from these videos. But Prosecco is one of those things, and even sparkling wine, when you talk about Cava too, is one of those things where I tend to stay in a lane. So I'd love to get your opinion on some of the Proseccos and wines that you may enjoy and that weren't on this list, because maybe that'll help me step outside of the comfort zone. Thanks for joining, and if you're not a subscriber here, please hit that little subscribe button over here. That would really mean a lot to me, and I'll talk to you guys soon.